Thank you very much, Peter. That was a very clean segue, by the way. Like that was very smooth. I had no idea that the Champions League was coming up. That's why they give them the big bucks. But yes, we are here in the Champions Select for the first game of the day. And Veteran, we've noticed a couple of trends coming through in terms of the NLC pick and bans. That Zeri on the red side, 100% being taken off the board.
Yeah, I mean, Zeri, Lucian, they are the go-to bans. Sometimes you'll see Lucian left up, but a Milio ban levied in, and people going okay with fine handshaking to the Lucian Nami lane. So that's the only real differentiation there, and then you generally have one of Nico or Annie joining it. It's going to be the Milio variant of the red side bans. You're unlikely to see a Lucian ban here, because if you're banning Milio to avoid the Milio-Lucian setup, you're basically saying this is the only thing that really makes that Lucian powerful. So I'd expect either a Nico or an Annie on next. The Draven ban just comes in straight up on Rusty. There's the Nico ban. Draven ban comes up straight in on Rusty. You'll normally see targeted bans on the blue side right now. So when you end up seeing Domino play later, expect the Olaf Draven bans coming up for them as well. Draven's just one of those champions, right? Like, you either play him or you don't. And if you play him, you're really, really good at him.
Yes.
Like, I like to say you kind of need to have the Adam mindset when you play Draven, and that's the kind of AD carry player that plays Draven really well.
I know. What about the Hans Sama mindset? You know, Veteran. He seems pretty good.
Well, Hans Sama has that mindset. He plays Draven, he plays Callista, he plays things that, you know, just walk forward and kill. Though now he can play everything. Like, Hans Sama has developed, but as a starting point, he was a Draven Callista 2-trick basically. And there is the Aphelios. Last time Rusty Sniper played this, we had Woljo on the Sejuani. Woljo loves those all-in champions, pairs really, really well with an Aphelios. If you have blue ultimate on Aphelios and Sedge hits or Jarvan hits, boom, insta 200 years montage play right there. I will say though, you want to talk about all-in junglers, fourth wall, they've taken the Wukong, right? They're like, we're going to ban Jarvan, we're going to ban Vi that can set up, we're going to take Wukong because we don't want you to be at your most powerful, and there is the Sedge. This is a repeat of the last time that we saw Uniq play.
And it doesn't really surprise me, because even though they did lose that last game versus Domino, there were points where they were absolutely in it. If it wasn't a situation where Rusty Sniper was getting flanked, getting kicked, then could have caused issues. I love this rotation here, though, for fourth wall. We've got long range from the Jinx, long range of the Victor to try and keep Rusty Sniper at bay.
Yeah, the classic kite composition against the Aphelios. Now the Wukong just needs to adjust his playstyle, make sure he understands that his job is to take out whatever tries to get on top of Jinx, whatever tries to get on top of Victor, play more like a Juggernaut rather than a Jarvan, right? So long as he does that, you have the really good mix of a comp here, the Jinx into Aphelios. That was also what was played last week into, I think it was Liam Colvanir, and Blink was playing the Jinx again. These guys are the guys that understand how to deal with these low mobility carries, but Unicorn's like, you're not getting another low mobility carry here, we're not going to let you just stomp all over us with an Ornn or something, I'm going to go the Irelia. This has the actual potential to close that gap. You can build Irelia basically as a bruiser, and she will get the job done. She can close that distance on towards the Jinx, basically still be full HP, kill her, get out, be laughing, and you'll basically have healed her over the course of the fight. Very annoying champion, but it is, similar to the Draven, one of those you either play it or you don't kind of chance.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's kind of why we're seeing the focus that we are in this second phase of bans, right? Uniq, banning away that Lulu, something that helps protect the Jinx and makes that dive from the Irelia a lot harder. And then the Blitzcrank, Poopy had a great game on it last week, and if you can yoink that Jinx, if you can yoink that Victor into your team, they're going to explode in a matter of milliseconds.
Yep, the Lulu is down. Very good anti-dive champion if the Irelia was to get on top of you and you just get cupcaked immediately. Very, very cute, but incredibly annoying. Lulu W and Yasuo Windwall are the two abilities I would remove in the game if you gave me a choice, right? Those are gone immediately. Gwen is immune is out, and now the Ornn. The classic anti-Jinx champion that 4-4 utilized against double low mobility, but Uniq are the ones to lock it in. China is very big on utilizing Ornn into Jinx. Europe has never quite been able to get all the way there, but we do have so many top laners that are like, we could do that, we could just lock Darius. Zac is also a classic anti-low mobility champion, but you have to bear in mind you are against the Irelia, and Zach doesn't do much into the Irelia, but he does do a lot into tanks. Now you do have a double tank top jungle on the side of Uniq, so it could do something there, and if the enemy goes for a tank support, it could actually be a really good pick. Popster though, Irelia, Sejuani, and the Ornn R2 can all be blocked by Poppy. Obviously, Ornn R2 won't be blocked by the ground. Ornn R2 will be blocked by Poppy R. So that is a pick that does achieve many of the objectives that you want, especially given you don't have to go aggressive on these guys, right? Zach would be if you want to dive in and go aggressive. You win if you just stay at range, and Poppy allows you to stay at that range. Very intelligent pivot by Fourth Wall here. All fits within the theme of their comp. Nautilus has to not play like Hylissang and just stick on top of Jinx and just point and click on the Irelia when Irelia goes in. Right? You wanted that additional point and click.
It's very much, you are going to try and engage on us. Our comp is going to stop you from doing that. Right? And so champions like the Wukong, like the Nautilus UT, going forward traditionally, need to operate in a different way. Veteran, we've just had a Heimerdinger locked in. That is a Heimerdinger. I thought Mage Supports were supposed to be dead. Apparently not.
So I was wondering if Fourth Wall might not just go for an Annie because they need a point and click to get the Irelia, right? Lulu would be a point and click. Nautilus is now the point and click. But if you go Nautilus and you're not landing hook level 1, you're basically useless until 6. And then your 6 all in here is still going to be very difficult. Heimerdinger is unbelievably good at level 1 at blocking those hooks that make Nautilus useful. Nautilus is not useful until he gets his R, but he has to save his R for the Irelia. So Heimerdinger is such a good pick here. It's not going to get all in by the Nautilus unless it ints. And it's going to just bully him, right? Support matchup does dictate lane. Jinx does have really nice rockets generally to try to get wave control, but you have to think now Heimerdinger and Aphelios, even with Aphelios level 1, will be able to get that level of control. I think the Heimerdinger is a really good response to everything Fourth Wall have got here.
Makes a lot of sense. I think Blink has been the guy on them last week who looked like he was most likely to carry, so I think shutting him down, which is kind of what the Heimerdinger allows you to do in terms of the laning phase, is definitely a good idea. I'm interested to see whether it's going to be enough, though, because I think a similar strategy was employed in terms of shutting down Blink in previous games, and I know that was something that teams like to do against him in the LVP too. But the comp looks pretty damn good for him to succeed here.
I would say, though, the composition for Blink works really well, actually, if it was to get a grouping. And the function of the Heimerdinger is to get that massive level of priority in lane, and then what they want to do is just keep playing side lanes over and over again until that Baron, right, and just try to split their opposition as much as humanly possible. If they can prevent Blink from being able to group together with his team in a straight 5-on-5, then they get rid of a lot of the power that their kiteback comp has, and suddenly there are angles for the Irelia to come in, right? If you're not a straight 5-man, there are a lot of angles where Irelia can start flanking you, come in from the side, do whatever, and anyone who's encountered an Irelian solo queue knows that's the worst time to be playing an AD carry of any kind.
So we want Uniq, really, once we get to those team fights, to kind of dismantle the whole idea of a team fight and force it to be loads of these sort of 2v2s, 3v3s, break it down so Fourth Wall aren't able to activate on the wombo combo that they have drafted. And I guess I kind of want to get your thoughts before we load into the game. Veteran, first game of week 2, both these rosters here at 1-1 as it stands. Who do you reckon is going to be looking a little bit happier going into the next game day of this week?
I think that there are a lot of options, but ultimately, I'm a Jinx man. I was born a Jinx man and I'll die a Jinx man. And I think you can have as many fancy tools as you want to go in. I think the Ornn is the best tool that they have, but Fourth Wall have accounted for every single one of those. I would put my money on Fourth Wall were I a betting man. Not sure how far I can go with that on broadcast. Wink, wink, nudge.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I tell you what, 5 guns seems excessive. If you've got your fish bones and your pow and your rocket launcher, that should be good enough for anyone. But we are on to the Rift, and Rusty Sniper is getting hit by a hook at level 1. Veteran, it's exactly what you said.
Yeah, I mean, Nautiluses, they have to play super aggro at level 1, and you have to think the same condition at which point Blink becomes strong, you know, when they all get the groupings, that's also technically true of Unique spot lane. You just catch the affiliates at the Heimerdinger, those turrets don't mean anything. There's nothing blocking the hook, and so they did it. They may be able to contest early priority, but that's honestly their choice, because it gets a lot harder now that you're in lane.
Veteran,
Wukong, though,
we might be having a little bit of monkey business in the bottom lane. Yute just in the river there. Flash for Pro Chimera onto Rusty Sniper. Ignite is going to be dropped. Felios is going to be able to flash back away, though, so it ends up being support flash for the flash on that ADC.
That's not as bad as you might think, though. Yes, the flash is your only real way to be able to engage because you need the point and click from your passive to be able to do so, but the wave state is really good for them on bot lane, and you're already saying we're not really going to be able to get anything until level 6, and by then the Nautilus flash will be up again. I think you're perfectly happy to do this as 4-full. They don't really need that flash. Rusty Sniper absolutely does if he wants to walk up and ever farm at this point. And it's not like that Heimerdinger's turrets are helping him right now, right? That wave is firmly in favor of 4-full. I think we're going to be seeing Wukong back bot. The ball is now in Woljo's court. Let's see how he responds to the situation.
I mean, he could look to sort of move there now and even up the summoner spell discrepancy situation, especially with Yute having to path towards his top side to get all the camps that he hasn't cleared yet. You're kind of anticipating on Unique that the Wukong isn't going to be in the bot lane for the next minute or so at least.
Yeah, I mean, we know, because we have God vision, that Wukong's moving up towards top side. There is nothing really indicating that on the side of Unique, right? But it does seem that they are making that assumption. They have the Heimerdinger turret in the river there, acting as a kind of de facto ward, and it's going to be confirmed in a sec. Unicorn in a difficult position.
Flawless duet, but Yute just a little bit out of range. And he goes back in! Moment of madness, honestly, from the Aurelia. It's a flash forward for first blood for Yute, easy as you like.
I respect it. I'd fire him, but I'd respect him, you know? Like, I respect... you're not a real Irelia player if you don't Q-flash there every single time, Middlecott, alright? If you think there's an issue with that, then I know which champion you definitely don't play, okay?
Well,
I think you take that.
I'm a bit of a Victor guy, and hey, do you know what? Unique, whilst he does die there, he is the one that is winning out in CS in terms of the early stages, which is kind of what you need to be doing on the Aurelia.
Yep, for sure. Victor definitely still struggling, but I think Victor and Wukong are going to be fully happy with that kill, right? Wukong, a very good jungler to be able to get your early Divine Sunder, your early Black Cleaver on, whichever one he decides to go for. Both are really good here. So I think he's happy. Ooh, Chimera's still feeling the hook. He's still feeling it.
Wanting to ARP in. You do need to be careful against the Heimerdinger because he can drop a surprising amount of burst on top of you when he's got all of his towers set up and lands that stun grenade. But Unique not really going to be able to contest the push with 4-full's bottom lane at the moment, who themselves have built up a reasonable CS lead.
Yeah, but you have to bear in mind, Rusty Sniper is yet to farm that 1.5 waves going into him, so it looks very dire right now, but it's actually not as bad of a situation as you might think. I still think he's down like 4 minions or so, but it's not actually that bad. He's picking them up all right now, nothing really for Blink to pick up. Looking kind of good here. Molto just making sure Victor doesn't get run down the entire lane by Aurelia, which is a very real threat at this particular point.
So that move there, we're not looking for a kill, we're just trying to ensure that Jimray can actually reset and get back. And when the Victor doesn't have access to teleport, you really want to make sure that that wave is getting pushed in so you don't miss any minions when you come back to lane.
Yeah, 100%. And that is the part of the lane you want to avoid at every point as Victor. You only want to be up there if you know that you have a grouping. Generally, what you'd want to do is that, say, the next wave was to stop, you would just outpush that. But instead, you know, they're just using it to set up a gank.
Yeah, and
it's reasonable.
Yeah, Unique Kong can dash about as much as he likes, but he is going to feed a second kill over to Yute. And the Aurelia, while she's continuing to boss this lane, is starting to int a little bit. Blink here, stepped up too far forward, and Woljo going to be able to chase him down. Rooted, nice cleanse away there, but the auto from Rusty Sniper will follow him under the tower and grab the first kill for Unique.
Blink's very much hoping that the Victor starts to carry at some point. Actually, it's the Wukong that has both of the kills, and it's actually harder for him to get on top of Rusty Sniper. Rusty's on the board. Rusty does have a kill. He's going to clear all of these minions, and he's going to be able to get a wave reset for himself. But last time Rusty was able to start getting ahead on bot lane, the game went very, very well for Uniq. He's initiating a freeze here, even though that means it's harder for him to recall, he will be behind in items. So honestly, if I'm Ute, I'm on this Wukong with this Sheen, with this longsword, and I see Aphelios is staying in the bot lane, I'm calling to dive this. Look at the items that Jinx is coming back from base with, look at the items Aphelios has. I think you have full control of bot side now. As long as Chimera doesn't, you know, die, that would
needs to
be
be
helpful.
pretty careful, able to spider Nautilus himself away, and Uniq will drop some damage. Poopy flashing for the stun grenade, looking for a little bit more. The auto for Rusty Sniper, and it's a second kill for the Uniq ADC.
I mean, Uniq are going to be very happy with that. Rusty Sniper has broken the freeze to do that. They are now contesting for the Drake. They did not just leave Aphelios on the freeze down there. They were looking to set up another play on the bot side. Look how well Uniq play as a unit around this bot lane. When it starts getting ahead, it doesn't stop with these guys. They are an avalanche, constantly coming bot side, making sure Rusty Sniper gets kill after kill after kill. Last time we saw him going straight up 5-0 in lane. It looks like we could end up with a repeat.
Yeah, and for me, that just makes it an even more exciting prospect to see what Uniq are going to be able to do over the course of the split if they're already playing well with a new roster this early on. But all those 2 kills did was even up the scoreboard a little bit as the Herald is about to spawn. Chimera is on that top side. Yute around there as well, but crucially, no level 6 for the Wukong.
Yeah, Heimerdinger is coming in on a bit of a delay. They're just escorting this wave in now because the last time Unicorn was in this position, she got ganked. They know Nautilus is not on bot lane, so everybody is here to try to make sure. Now that Heimer's here, Unicorn feels confident. Oh,
Jimray going to get stunned with the Glacial Prison, diving back forward, silenced under tower, but it doesn't matter. It's a first kill of the game for Uniq. Uniq getting control of the mid lane around the Herald. Ults from the Jinx. Not quite going to connect there, but still, both teams trading good as they get.
Yep, for sure. Aphelios Jinx both being left alone on bot side to just scale, but Irelia able to get that kill on the Victor. And you know, the caster in me wants to be like, wow, that dodge on the minion to get away from that Nautilus hook, that was sick. The Irelia player in me knows that you were just going to do that minion Q anyway, and it probably just looks really But either way, well played on her to have patience to wait for the Heimerdinger to be in lane before going super aggressive on the wave, right? You had reason to believe that both the Wukong and the Nautilus were looking to set up on you there. They played very, very well around it. Fool me once, you know, shame on Uniq. Fool me twice, shame on Jinrace on that Victor.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how the saying goes, veteran.
It's not even vaguely how the saying goes.
Fool me once.
Like, most of those words aren't even in it. You know, I'm just thinking, like, what's a caster-ish thing to say here,
it's the sort of thing that you'd say as a caster. I'm not going to lie, Poopy there. Demonstrating the reasonable amount of damage that Heimerdinger can do, even to a Wukong that has found himself in a very decent spot coming out of this early game. You'd say, obviously, building towards that Divine Sunderer isn't quite going to be able to pick it up yet, and we see just off these resets with the movement from Rusty Sniper, looks like Uniq are the team that are going to be able to take out this Herald.
It's very easy to ignore it in basically any League of Legends game because it doesn't matter and they only really exist as a form of charity, but Molto has been silently winning the top lane matchup the whole time, by the way. He's consistently remained 2 CS ahead, he's taken 2 plates down on top side, he's scaling into the game really, really well, despite the whole game being played super hard around bot lane. So Uniq, they are getting Rusty Sniper ahead, but Poppy, she's doing very well top. That being said, the reason why none of this matters is that at some point Ornn's going to press R twice and probably just have more impact than Poppy could ever hope to have.
I mean, that's the rough thing. I suppose Molto's job in teamfights is going to be a bit more playing this defensive role to protect Jinrays and protect Blink. And hey, if you're fed, it's going to be a little bit easier to do that.
What?
That's gone very badly in the bot lane for fourth wall. They're not sure how he didn't catch that. And Rusty Sniper is going to get a triple kill for it.
I've seen this already, though. In the second game last week, literally go back there and the same thing happened. A response play by Woljo, Sejuani Aphelios on bot side, ends up nabbing Rusty Sniper 3 kills and puts him on the 5-0. This game plan for Uniq is not just a set-in-stone thing that they are occasionally getting off, they're consistently getting off to extremely heavy impact. First few levels, maybe they're yours, fourth wall, but the team of Uniq will always have Rusty Sniper's back, and he comes into this mid game mega astro fed, as is the technical term.
Yeah, but now for Uniq, it's okay. Can you take this mega astro turbo fed, Aphelios? Because I think he believes he's extended to that point now. How do you protect him? No, there's no Shackle Lee Sin that could come over from the Raptor pit in this game, but there is that Wukong, there is that Poppy, there is the outrange effect that we're expecting this Victor and the Jinx to have. So for Uniq, how do they make sure that this game is a W and not an L last like last week?
I mean, this is the theory, right? The theory with something like... Okay, we entered the Nether Realm for a second there. The theory was
that was the back rooms.
So yes, with this... Oh my god, I'm sorry. This Victor is like... I'd hate to be this guy right now. He's in the danger zone, and Sejuani knows it, right? Nautilus knows it too. He's on vision. It's fine. It's all fine. Okay, we can breathe a sigh of relief, right? The theory behind something like Aphelios Lulu is that Lulu will enable the Aphelios to take enough damage that he can be effective when he enters the Jinx Victor range, right? Because he will take damage in doing so. Right now, the theory is that because the Aphelios is 5-0, he can arrive, oh my god, maybe 6-0 because he has Q.
Okay, that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit.
Doing anywhere as near as much damage. Did he not get the mark from that?
I don't think that was a Q. I think that was just off the ult, so it's less damage, I think, when you just hit one person.
Just do RQ there, no? And then I think... I don't think he's dead off that. I'm chatting...
Maybe not sure.
I can't. I'm chatting Poopy. So the theory here would be he's so fed 5-0, right? That even if he enters the fight on like 50 HP, he'll still one-shot all the 4-4. That's the theory you're running with right now. The other way you could think about it is that if Rusty Sniper is very good at jungling his gun combos, and he seems to be heavily prioritizing this blue gun, as you can see, although his ultimate's already being used, if he's holding onto that blue gun for ult, you do have a really good wombo combo here. Or knock up Sejuani ult, right? Heimerdinger ult even, which is a very
mid lane Wolcho over the wall, dropping every single stun on Jinray's head. And
now that Heimerdinger's head.
Welcome to Div 1, buddy.
Welcome indeed. I mean, this is just classic mage play into Irelia, right? It feels fine until she gets Vampiric Scepter, and then you're just wondering why you even bothered to log in at all today, right? Because, like, she's not coming back. You can make all the plays you like, but she's not coming back. The Irelia is going to continue to fist you the whole time. All those problems in your life are still going to exist when you log off, and you just gave yourself another one by trying at all. That's the general laning experience against an Irelia that all mage players must suffer. Why am I still doing this? I have absolutely no idea. But now you have the threat of the
getting a bit personal there, veteran. I feel like we started to... At some point, we stopped talking about mid lane. Molto not quite going to be able to flash over the wall, but does interrupt the blade surge from Uniq corner, though I'm sure as soon as that cooldown becomes available, the Irelia is going to get another kill, and Uniq are taking the early game lead, and they are continuing to snowball it. They've got a couple of dragons for themselves as well, so it's not even like Fourth Wall can rely on something like that in their back pocket.
Did Uniq Corn's super early laning phase go poorly? Yes. Is he monstrously fed as well? Absolutely yes. It is a double threat composition on the side of Uniq now, with very useful setup all around. The only real X factor could essentially be Poopy, right? That's basically it at this point. The Heimerdinger, how he performs once you get out of these lane states, that's a much more complex than how he works in lane, where he perma-pressures you. But you also have to think, your previous win con of let's keep them split up, we can't win a 5v5, that may not even be true anymore. I think you don't have to trade that much HP to get on top of them relative to the damage that you actually do on them now. I think you're very comfortable if you're Uniq. But you know, Liam Cole couldn't quite deal with it, right? We've seen plenty of Jinx Victor compositions just through their range be able to gradually win these fights. I think if you don't get that big wombo combo as Uniq, there's still a lot of skill that you're going to have to be able to show to win this fight.
Oh, for sure.
I say this, but let's be real. We're just going to see Irelia just like Q all over their face at some point.
I mean, that's the thing, right? You can apply a lot of finesse, but eventually Irelia. I do agree with you though on the broader point, right? Uniq need to do something with this league, and they have been doing things with this league, but we just saw a few moments ago Molto able to pick up that top lane tower. Blink needs to be very careful here, although Fourth Wall could be going for a play onto Uniq Corn. He flashes away under the tower, but it's still going to get taken down. Shut down for Yute, and Woljo now on the run himself has the flash. and he's going to use it to get away. But Fourth Wall able to get one back. Another kill for their jungler. Rusty Sniper setting up in the mid lane. Jinray locked down, but not quite going to get hit by the stuns. He flashes over the gravity field. Rusty Sniper is dominating.
Absolutely brilliant by him. Like, gets the root, flashes out of the Victor W to make sure he doesn't get rooted there, switches to Green Gun to be able to maintain his DPS on Victor at max range, at a range where Victor can't just activate his shield on him. Really nicely done by Rusty there. That is typically the utility gun combo that he's on right now, but he just made it look about as dangerous as any other combo on Aphelios.
I mean, utility, he did use it for utility. He used it for utility to kill someone, which is great. And Uniq taking down that mid lane tower because of that kill is going to be really great for them, because they were slowly losing out on these side lanes, and if Fourth Wall had been the team to take that mid lane tower, that could have afforded them a bit more pressure than they maybe would deserve in this game. But Uniq, fair credit to you. You take that mid lane tower. Let's go to these side lanes, try and take those down as well.
Yeah, I mean, Def is the best CC. I do think, though, that we are now seeing the opposite of what we were expecting to see from Champ Select, because Fourth Wall are the ones that are playing so heavily to these sides, and it looks like Uniq are the ones that are looking to group more than anything. You would imagine that as Uniq, you'd feel very comfortable with an Irelia just perma-playing on these long lanes, and you will, right? So the fact that these towers are down, I think that can also work out for Uniq in the long run, and we'll have to see Fourth Wall try to group to compensate away from that. So let's see how Irelia plays. You want to take something out of Australis book, right? Yeah. I think Australis play 2 lanes in mid game better than any other team in the LEC. That's my hot take. And right now you want to channel your inner leader as Uniq Corn, which he definitely is.
I mean, he will need to dash away. Cyclone is going to eventually connect from Yeti. Chimera moving up as well, and Fourth Wall decided that killing the enemy mid laner is a bit more important than getting pressure around this dragon. But Uniq going, yo, we don't need to take the Drake now. We can use this timer, we can use this Herald to get a mid lane tier 2.
Yeah, absolutely love this, actually. From Uniq just immediately responding with a super hard mid lane push. Now they have control. They didn't quite drop the ward that you're supposed to here, but they now have control over all the possible angles Fourth Wall have to transfer from top to bot side, short of just in their base, right? So they also have immense amounts of priority on the Drake.
Hold on.
No Baron.
The Forge got Blink. Not quite going to get caught. Both ultimates actually going wide, and it's not going to matter, though. The rest of the backup not there from Fourth Wall, and Uniq get the pick on the ADC in the mid lane. That means that they're much more able to rotate towards this Drake, which is going to be a sell point.
Second actually moment of the day.
Okay.
But that Sejuani ultimate, not only does it potentially predict a flash from Jinx, but also prevents Jinx's escape route and forces her to have to curve around the terrain, which brings her closer towards Uniq, who are the ones that want to kill her. So I think the Sejuani ultimate was actually absolutely perfect. Not every single one of these things has to land. If it did straight land on her, she just cleanses it anyway. So I think that was a really good ultimate there. I don't want to call it a zoning ultimate, but effectively it did zone her from her escape route.
Because that's too much of a meme, right? Like, it was actually a good ult, but like people use zoning ult to just mean like anything flying off the side of Summoner's Rift. It's like, no, the word actually means something. Uniq Corn, I feel like for them, this game is sort of slowing down a little bit more than necessarily they would have liked. They were 3-2-1 a little while ago, 3-4-1 now, so have had a couple of back-to-back deaths. Do you think that they're going to have a harder time interacting the longer this game goes?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm worried about how long it's taking them to get on towards tier 3s. Yes, we're only just hitting Baron spawn. We've only been in the mid-game for now, but both of the tier 1s on top side are up. They had the ability to just play through side lanes for ages. They could have split the map and taken every single tower with their lead. It's Fourth Wall who would want to stay as a 5-man and try to force a play. But because of this, the longer it takes them to get to tier 3, the longer it takes them to deal with the eventuality that at some point you will have to deal with a grouped Fourth Wall team. On those tier 3 towers, Fourth Wall will be grouped no matter which tower you're attacking, unless you're doing it from all 3 sides, and the only way to do that is if you've already taken out all the other towers, and they haven't even taken out the tier 1 on top side yet.
Oh, Molto very aggressively trying to cut the wave and prevent the dive that he sees coming. Keeper's Verdict actually going to knock away Rusty Sniper. That's a load of the damage. It means the Fourth Wall could turn it around. Oh, no. Chimera still getting chunked, but Blink is going to be able to get that first reset kill onto Wanjo. Teleport going to come through here. Yute, force low, force back. Uko has the call of the Forge God. Uniq missing a few ultimates, missing a few aggressive cooldowns, but still the team in the advantage, going to be able to take out that tower and rotate away.
We take that for sure. Alright, the Wukong Burst is able to set up a Jinx reset, able to set up a kill on Jinx. You only lose tier 1 on top for it. They're still nowhere near your tier 3s. Uniq, they should be thinking about ending on a 20-minute Baron, start to break open the base on that 20-minute Baron. They're nowhere near doing it yet. You've bought yourself enough time. When that inevitable tier 3 siege happens, because it's still odds on will happen, you want your Jinx to be as fed as possible with as many good items as possible and be able to get that first reset as soon as humanly possible. Because you have that one guaranteed team fight and you win it. You win it if Uniq allow the Jinx to become a champion, and she is well on her way here.
Couple of items in the inventory of Blink, but Uniq have got a pretty rapid Baron here with a Heimerdinger, and doesn't look like Fourth Wall are going to be able to get over here in time. Check with the blue trinket, but that shall be it. A block on the Super Mega Death Rocket, and Uniq grab themselves a pretty damn easy Baron.
Yep, for sure. But what will they do with it, right? Because they haven't been very good at playing these split lane setups yet. And to be clear, I'd be amazed if this team came into the league and were able to play really good split lane setups.
Oh, yeah.
Generally, when it comes to the ERLs, I've said this so many times on my own stream, Twitch TV/veteran that Vitality B with the Sigenda Diplex lineup is the only time I've seen an ERL team be able to play outside those scenarios consistently. They were good. If you gave them a 1-3-1 comp like Diplex on TF and Sigenda on a carry of some kind, like Aatrox, something like this, they were legitimately just unbeatable. They'd split the map permanently, they did it better than a lot of LEC teams did, but they are the exception to the rule. They are so impressive because they were basically the only team that could do that. Uniq are a rookie team that have picked themselves a difficult composition, but they have shown so much strength in being able to get Rusty Sniper to 6-0-1. My god, they want this so badly.
Not gonna get her.
And she doesn't give it to him. Nicely done.
But I tell you what, that's patience there, right? That's looking at that wave shove going, there could be someone here that could kill me.
For sure.
And that's great to see when you are playing in these split push setups. You don't want to be dying randomly on side lane, because not only does that prevent your ability to push towers, it also means that the other members of your team, wherever they are on the map, have to react as well. Chimera taking about half of his HP. 3-level difference between the two supports, by the way.
Yep, I mean, 4-4 were unable to pick up their poo in the jungle, and Poopy has Heimerdingers all over them. I'm not allowed to say the word that would fit best and, you know, allow my flow. Give me one of those words per Uniq game, okay, guys? I could do a lot with it.
Are we trying to make it like PG-12A for Uniq? You can have one.
I'm PG-13. I'm making deals.
Okay.
Right? I'm making deals on the cast, all right, mate? Like we're collecting these bounties, like IRL and in-game. But this was a nice 2-lane setup from Uniq. Right? I just wish we'd seen more of it in mid-game, because they're still not on the tier 3. Right? They still need to take out that tier 2 on top before they can effectively split their enemy on that tier 3 season. That's going to take another Baron to do. Luckily, you can see Irelia securing them the Kentuck Soul, and this soul has gotten a bad rep. A lot of people say it's really useless, but what do you really want if you're playing a champion like Jinx or Viego or Katarina or anything like this? You want to be able to execute, and Kentuck is basically an anti-execute Drake. So this is really good for both Uniq super high health champions like Lusty Sniper that want to trade HP to be able to do damage to you, and very good into Fourth composition, which is effectively a reset comp, right? So it gets a bad rep, but I actually think it's incredibly effective that Unicorn's taken that, and it's going to make the game much easier for Uniq.
And I'm anticipating now, Veteran, that we're going to have a little bit of a lull state before this next ban, because I don't think Uniq have been too keen to set up massive plays outside of these objectives, but that's going to be the next place where we find this action, because I think Fourth Wall, you can kind of justify giving over that Chemtech Drake, so given the position that you're in on the map, if you're giving this team Baron, I'm not sure that you can come back into this game.
I think, though, you almost have to, right? What you want is you want this 5-on-5 on your terms, and I think the only way you're going to get that is when Uniq start to siege you. I don't really think they win a fight if they enter River second. I think Ornn just kills you all in the chokehold by pressing R twice, and then Sedge is on top of it, and then Irelia's on top of it, and then the Philiosar is on you, and then Heimerdinger exists, and it's all very horrible, right? Molto should play patiently, they should let all the waves shove in, they should just make sure that on that tier 3, they win that one team fight, and that's how they start getting back into the game. They almost don't have a choice but to give up all of these objectives. I think they rolled pretty poorly with that Soul, but, you know, Uniq, they're just in control of the game, right? They stomped you in the early. You have to just accept that. Before mid-game, that ADC was 5-0. And that Irelia that you spent resources putting O2 behind was suddenly 3-3 of a bounty, right? You just have to accept that Uniq had full control of the game, and you just have to take what scraps are given to you, because it is entirely on Uniq to give you anything. There are very few options for 4th to proactively make a play on their own. But Ute is looking... Look, they want this siege. They know that they do have power on this siege. They're not risking it, because they know if Uniq misstep, go too far forward, feel the dive, suddenly 4th could maybe turn the whole thing around.
It's what we're talking about in the champion select, right? It was the Nautilus and Wukong sort of needing to operate in slightly different roles in this game. But for Uniq, it almost feels like they're just buying time a little bit until the Baron spawns. They know that they've got all of this vision in the top side jungle. Yute, you can pop that vision plant, but you are not going to be able to clear out any of these wards.
I mean, this is the draft diff. Sorry to say, right? Like, the big thing that Uniq have is this Ornn, but if he gets the double knock-up on Blink, who really follows up on it? Does the Irelia dive through that tower? Nautilus will press R on her, auto her, and then she can't do anything. Does Rusty Sniper go on the tower? He just gets blown up, right, and becomes a Jinx reset. You have the Ornn to set it up, but you don't have the range damage match that you need to match that ranged engage, right? Something like the Tristana is the classic.
Oh, Poopy with a stun over the wall, and looks like Uniq are actually going to go for this gym race. Stop watching the Sejuani ult, and yeah, Uniq, they throw a couple ults under the tower, and they don't really get too much for it.
They can't do it. Yeah, they were never in the perfect position to just commit onto Blink, and that's with the Kentex Soul that should help them trade HP there. Did they even get the tower?
No. Still standing.
It's so difficult. Yeah, this is why I always bet on Jinx teams. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that Uniq still win. I respect the attempt, by the way, Blink there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm still pretty sure Uniq win from this point, but I'm only pretty sure. I'm not very sure. I'm not exactly sure. There's a Jinx on the enemy team and you don't have a range damage match against her. Levels of sure. Which is not very sure at all, to be honest. I think the team in Europe you actually want to look at, I'm not paid by this org, I swear, is the Vitality LEC team, right? Like,
oh, my word.
They did Tristana mid, on top, when they did Aphelios into Jinx, right? And that gave them ranged engage, range damage match, and strong 2v2 on bot lane. You only have 2 of the 3 big Jinx conditions on the side of Uniq, right? And I'm sorry, but an invincible Irelia diving on top of the Jinx does not count as a range damage match, okay? It really does not. No matter the ego of your mid laner, alright?
Well, I don't know, man. Have you seen how, like actually big her auto attack range is? Like, I feel like those things are hitting me over walls at some points, you know.
Oh my god, that's actually really nice of production to beam the draft conversation that Unique's mid laner had into my ears during the cast. That's really...
That's great. I'm sorry, you've absolutely got me there. But also, for the Uniq here, reset composition doesn't do too well against all these stopwatches, right? And so, even now, if 4th can find that pick and Uniq go for that dive...
Very good.
A couple more options here. Yeah. I am paying attention sometimes, veteran. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh no, I was congratulating Uniq on doing that. That's a very good way to try to play around the Jinx resets. That is the thing that you don't want to see. Any condition you don't want to see as a Trist, as a Katarina, as any of these classic reset champions, you also don't want to see as Jinx for the exact same reasons. And these are the most powerful guns on the side of Rusty Sniper right now. He has his red-blue setup. I've been very vocal about my absolute love for this, right? Insta-healing, insta-damage, like so much AoE. He has his ultimate up as well. They're looking for this one big combo and he could just blow up Jinx, but...
Oh, Yute going forward. There's that stopwatch that we were talking about onto Mojo, denying the reset and preventing the kills coming through for 4th wall. Uniq will march through the tower. And with 2 dead on the side of 4th wall, Rusty Sniper flashing forward to try and get even more.
I respect it.
Uniq are going to be able to close out this game. You have to feel the minion wave not great though, and fourth wall still have a fair bit of damage. Okay, actually going to be taken down. Jimmy's able to slay him, and Uniq a little bit less confident about this shove. Rusty Sniper going to be able to take down that mid lane tower, going to be able to take down this inhibitor, and I think the Swedish team will back away. It's not game ending, but 3 inhibs down. It's so hard for fourth wall to come back.
The only times that I ever see 0 tower teams able to make a comeback is when I'm playing against them in solo queue on an oddly consistent basis. But since I am not currently participating in this game, I'm gonna say it's probably actually quite over for fourth wall. You can see on the replay here though the potential the composition had, but it was ultimately just that. Rusty Sniper with the blue R is able to combo in. Look at how much damage that did. Effectively wipes out fourth wall's ability to resist Unique's onslaught on his own. But look how low they are. Right?
Oh, hold on. Hold on, fourth wall just on the Elder, but Uniq are going for end. TPs are going to come through, and Jimmy can't defend.
It's over.
In catastrophic fashion.
It's over.
Fourth wall try and pull it back, but Uniq close it out.
Well,
I mean, I respect